What's up, guys? Coach Jimmy from Modern Athlete Strength. Today I'm going to cover ruck progressions, both from a volume standpoint as well as an intensity standpoint, or ruck weight progression. So the first template I have is a 6-month progression. I just put a starting time or weekly time at 150 minutes. It averages the sessions out. So this is based on 3 sessions a week. So if you're rucking 3 sessions a week at 150 total minutes, that would be broken up into 3 50-minute sessions. And then I did the mileage based off 15-minute per mile paces. So that's how we get the 10 miles a week. And then all I do is 10% increases in volume for 3 weeks. So that's time increases with a 4th week deload. And then it just shows you the progression all the way out for 6 months if you're starting at 150 minutes. You could easily customize this. If you're at 100 minutes or less, it would then just spit out your time and distance based on that. So again, 150 minutes over 3 sessions a week gives you your mileage per week over 6 months. And it's just a safe way to progress as opposed to just not having an idea and just going, all right, I'm going to do 3 miles and then I'm going to do 6, I'm going to do 12. It just gives a safer progression. So you're not increasing too fast and running into those overuse type injuries if you have the time to progress that far out. Most people don't need to hit 30 plus miles a week in rucking, but this is just a chart I use just to give myself an idea if I'm working with somebody progression wise, how to safely do it and what that could look like over a 3 to 6 or 12 month progression here. Okay, if we're going to give this chart out for free for download, but just so you know how to use it, this first cell here is where you'd input your current minutes per week. So if let's say you were less than 150 and you were 100 minutes a week of rucking, you could type that in, and then it spits out a different progression. Since it's less time, then the time per session is less, as well as the weekly mileage is less as well. I use this not only for rucking, I also use it for running as well. The only thing I would change is the formula based on the pacing. So if it was easy pace, I may change it to, depending on the person and what their time trials are. Maybe it's their easy pace is 10 minutes per mile, then that would change all of the mileage per week as well. But I do this just to give myself an idea of progressions based on 10%. So we're not overreaching and running into overuse type issues. So this is time progression. The next one I'm going to show you is a weight progression. This one is for rucking, obviously, based on 1 time per week. I keep the session time the same here, just for argument's sake, and the still based on a 15-minute per mile pace. The only thing I change here is I do 10% increases of ruck weight each block. So for the first month, it's roughly between 20 and close to 25 pounds. The next month, starting roughly around 25 pounds to almost 30 pounds, then 30 to 35, and so on and so forth as you progress through the 6 months there. If your pace is different than 15 minutes per mile, if it's faster or slower, you can just change the input there, and then it would populate either more mileage or less mileage based on your pace. But when progressing for rucking, I think it's important just to have a well thought out weight progression and through over time. So this just gives me a quantifiable metric of how you can do it safely. So you're doing 10% increases, even if you don't have the ability to add roughly 2 pounds to your ruck, as long as you're hitting that window of that 20 to 25 pounds and making small incremental jumps. So you're not going from 20-pound ruck to a 60-pound ruck in a 2-month progression, just being smart about it. But this is charts that I've put together just to help me program. And for some of you guys out there, it might be useful to you as well, just to see what a long-term progression could look like. Most people don't need to get up to 60, 65 pounds on a ruck, but it's just for the purpose of this presentation is just to show what it could look like if you safely do the 10% increases with a 4th week deload. So that's where you can see I go from 20 pounds to 24 and then back it down to 22 pounds. But just manipulating that. Again, we're not trying to get 3 doctorates at the same time, meaning I'm not trying to increase ruck weight, increase ruck speed, increase ruck distance all within the same time. I just try to focus on one thing and work that and see what that progression looks like over a set period of time, however long you have working with somebody. If you have something specifically you're getting ready for, or if you're just trying to add more weight to your ruck, this is a safe way to do it. 10% increases over time, deloading every 4th week. And here's a template that we're going to share with you guys, both the time progression as well as the weight progression. But hopefully you guys got something out of this. Feel free to reach out at Modern Athlete Strength if you have any further questions. This is just one way to look at it. It just is all dependent on what the goal of the program is. But this is a tool that I use to help long-term progressions for rucking as well as just conditioning in general. especially that first template with the time progression. It's really easy to use. Again, all you have to do is type in what the person is currently at time per week of conditioning, and then you can manipulate the paces here to distribute how many miles they're covering per week. So like I said, hopefully you guys got something out of this. Feel free to reach out if you have any further questions. Thank you.